Umbilical Cord by Stephanie Powell.
The play is site generic and could be performed anywhere. In this script read, it will be performed on a hill. There must be an old Victorian style bathtub filled with black and white piano keys, stage left, and a grand piano, stage right. Split into 3 acts, the first alone with the character Rosemary, the second act repeated with the addition of Carolina and her dialogue, and the third is believed to be only Rosemary. Act 1. Any time of day, anywhere. Rosemary lies in the bath, filled with black and white piano keys.
Places are all that I have. Places are all that I have. Places are all that I have, and I suffer here. Mother devil shut me out. Old mother left me for dead. Drought, 1765, June, until October. Till 1768. You're farthest from... Are you hearing this? Regarding me as the family and I'm cutting the umbilical cord. I'm cutting it. I'm cutting it. Places are all that I have, isn't it? Is that why my sibling lies cold with no tomb? How do you know it's a her? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was lost in my thoughts for a good 10 minutes there. You break my heart. I don't need any more. You can't. Carolina, a reminder, Ma, that you can't no more. No more. What are you? Go back to the shore. Oh. Oh. But you disowned me. It's not homely, it's a hill and it's lonely. Your mother's instinct was to kill at birth. For all of my childhood, my mother trapped me here. She gave my dead sibling, who was never born, what they needed and left me here, so she makes up for it with pie. She was never born alive. Cruel. Why? Loon. State your killed and fed human bodies to his clan, a slaughterer, what's in this? And greens? I love you. I love you, Mum. Ginger just texted me. She's on her way. Listen, I'm old enough now to travel, to see, to feel, to taste, to walk. I will not swap my voyage for a bag of all-purpose flour. Places are all that I have.
You have a mother.
Places are all that I have.
I am your mother.
Places are all that I have, and I suffer here.
Another ear.
Mother dear, cut.
Mother devil shut me out.
Mother dear, cut. Old mother left me for dead.
Don't shout.
Drought, 1765, June.
I was making pie for your sibling at full moon.
Until October.
Harvesting.
Till 1768.
The hardest thing is
You're hardly...
a mother was...
You're farthest from...
Cutting you from...
Are you hearing this?
Cutting you from...
The family and I...
My umbilical...
I am cutting the umbilical cord.
The hardest thing as a mother was cutting you from the umbilical cord.
I'm cutting it.
Knowing you were safe and I could keep you safe.
I'm cutting
To
it.
then be forced into pushing you out into the world.
Places is all that I have, isn't it?
For the world to be pulling you into its satanical womb.
Is that why my sibling lies cold with no tomb?
Do not use that devil tongue of yours towards her.
How do you know it's a her?
A mother's instinct.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was lost in my thoughts for a good 10 minutes there. You break my heart.
I broke apart.
I don't need any more.
Let me wash your hair.
You can't.
You swore you wouldn't do that anymore.
Carolina.
Mum.
A reminder, Ma, that you can't no more. No more.
Are you sure?
What are you? Go back to the shore.
Short of things to do.
Oh.
No, before you...
Oh.
I support you.
But you disowned me.
So, here's your home.
It's not homely, it's a hill and it's lonely.
No. No. You do not get the privilege to be lonely. A mother is the loneliest job on this earth.
Your mother's instincts was to kill at birth. For all of my childhood, my mother trapped me here. She gave my dead sibling, who was never born, what they needed and just left me here. So she makes up for it with pie.
I made you some pie, your sister's favourite.
She was never born alive.
Nature is
Cruel.
fertile.
Why?
Miles ago, Isle of Man, before she took the role of the sun, had a child with Min, Father Time.
Lynn.
Time. Lynn. Married old mother, but had an affair with that virgin Mary. Potato farmer over nature.
State your...
Point is, her dad, your uncle Scotland, told me nature had an affair with the ground. You know, Sonny Beans.
Killed and fed human bodies to his clan.
His daughter. Nice man.
A slaughterer, what's in this?
Ham.
And greens?
Short story long.
I love you.
Nature and ground chased Clipra into the forest and everything sort of grew. What?
I love you, Mum.
Your uncle Scotland had a fight with Nevis. Said he was a malicious mountain, and if it weren't for my crevice, would he stick by me? Look at me. I'm rooted here. I'm the hag of the hills, shag of the summit. Take a peek. So seek on peaks, and then fucking run it. If I walk up and nothing hurt, I'll think I was dead.
Ginger just texted me. She's on her way. Listen, I'm old enough now to travel, to see, to feel, to taste, to walk.
Because I barely can. Because you can't listen to your mother. Because you always have to do the opposite to me. Like you're ashamed of what I am. Because you can't just stand still. It's why your dad bought you that crappy piano in the first place. Because you cannot just play it, can you? You have to break it apart and rebuild it and then play. You come back with a death's head and a sprig between your rag, because that's the difference between mountains and plants. Peaks stay put, teepees in Apollyon winters. Evergreens are splinters in the poly's sharpest fingers. When you should be given love bites to the mounds, you...
I will not swap my voyage for a bag of all-purpose flour. Places are all that I have.
She was a flower. I'm going to be with the baby that was never born below. When I carried you for 40 weeks, I thought of you as an owl. Rosemary, that was your dad's idea. Unfortunately, when you were born, it was clear as so. Nicotiana was your name. Tobacco.
Mum's not doing so well, sister. I think she's having an episode. She made pie with tobacco. I had my first cigarette with you, sister. 1764. Yes, you're right. The year before the drought. Well, we had nothing else to do for 3 years, did we? You went to Alcoy, Spain instead of Seville to meet that composer. That was it. Manuel Blasco de Nabra. Maybe I'll find us some wallpapers on my travels. Perhaps not. Will you look after me? I want to see you play around the world, sister, see what you've created, how you live on without a body, how you physically love without a body, All that we have in the satanical womb is places in music. I must go now. Ginger is down the hill. Goodbye. I must cut the umbilical cord.
I must be with the baby that was never born. She's all I have. I must go. I must leave this place. Through her music. I must cut the umbilical cord.
Thank you for listening to Umbilical Cord. This is my author's note. The dialogue between Rosemary and Carolina is lyrical because there is poetry in the everyday. In conversation with my own mother, in the feeling of it, I am hurting and I am loving. But in the divine tragedy of it, I become the observer. I sink into the commentary, it pains. Instead, I preserve the present chime. In real time, I clock, so I bear it and familiarise it as material, as fabric, as fable. The dialogue between Rosemary and music is melodious because there is no convoluted pattern of sound mind. In conversation with music, in the feeling of it, I am hurting and I am loving. But in the divine tragedy of it, I become the voyager. I sink into the commentary. It cascades. Instead, I preserve the present chime. In real time, I face. I penchant it and understand it as material, as fabric, as fable. I love both. Both are painful.